One of our next clues was to go and find a date on a railway on Wharf Street.
Yeah.
What do you think that meant?
What did I think it meant? I thought there was, first thing that came to my mind was that little railway station that crosses, where it crosses that bridge. And then we came up and the rail tracks were right there and there's a plaque in front. And so we looked at the plaque and there's no date, and I thought, okay, maybe it's somewhere stamped on the side of the things, because the railway station looked closed and there was nothing, no printing or anything around it. And I thought, okay, well, so we just looked along all these tracks and then looked around the whole building, didn't see anything with a date, and I thought, okay, well, maybe it's just somewhere else that's near here.
Yeah, the E&N rail. I think that was really, we had trouble with that one. That slowed us down for sure.
Yeah, yes, it took about 20 minutes to do that.
Oh, really? Okay, I was wondering, because I came back, because I had parked the car and was coming back, right? I think even after I showed up, it was another almost 10 minutes we were looking at it. So.
After giving up on the E&N railway, before we solved it, of course, we started walking down towards the Harbour Air Ferry because we had to find a Harbour Air Ferry map. But along the way, we looked at this mural. We had to figure out the clue that had something to do with this mural. I was completely stumped. We ended up, there's two murals there. I wasn't too sure which one it was, but I looked through all of them and I could not figure out the clue that went R blank, 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 man. No idea. So we solved another 2 clues, I believe, and then on our way back, as we're going towards Market Square to officially solve the E&N Railway clue, that's when we hastily walked by the mural and I looked up, and there it is, dedicated to Robert Bateman. And I went, hey, that's this clue. So just by chance, we managed to solve it, and I wouldn't say it saved the day, but it certainly did help.
I didn't like that one. It was very confusing. There was something about like railroad tracks and a date on railroad.
I think you had remembered something about there being dates in there. And then we went in there and then we see these historical displays, and there was something about a date about when the railway had started or ended or something. And we were going to go with that date, and then we went. Doug says, well, maybe it's actually out in front of the thing. And I said, yeah, maybe it is in that little grassy stretch. And we found it out there, of course.
Yeah, that one was hard.
So
we kind of went on a goose chase.
We must have spent 20 minutes easily on that clue, which put us way back.
Yeah.
That was our biggest blowout clue.
Wait, and in fact, I wasn't even there when you guys found it, so I didn't even know how you found it. But I went up to the lady with the poutine stand, and I was like, do you know if there's railroad tracks here in Market Square? And she's like, and she gave me this big long story about how there used to be like a choo-choo train, and she used to man it. And so, because I asked the security guard first, and he was like, oh, ask the lady at the poutine place. She managed the choo-choo train that used to be here in Market Square. So I was like, oh, okay, I wonder if that's it. Maybe there. And she's like, oh yeah, there used to be tracks, and I think there might have been a date on it. I think it was like 2003. And as soon as she saw that, I was like, oh, obviously that's the wrong thing. But, you know, she was kind of telling me the story and got into it, and I never really found out. I was walking around the Market Square, totally confused, and then Doug came by and was like, we found it, Michelle, it's fine. And I was still talking to the poutine lady, being like, oh, thanks very much, that might be it, bye. Even though it totally wasn't, because it wasn't even started with 1800, and she was like, 2003 maybe? But so, anyway, I didn't like that one at all. That one was, like, really hard.
For me, it was a bit confusing. The clue said, you know, Wharf Street. So I figured it was outside. Then there was nothing obvious, so we came inside. And then once we went outside and actually looked, I mean, it was really obvious. All I had to do was walk that little grassy knoll outside, and there it was, right? So, not really.
Run, Kelly, run!
Yes, yes, yes.
But at this point, we decided to split up a little bit. I was getting a little bit tired. So I said, well, you guys run ahead, go figure out this Harbour Air clue, and me and Michelle will just kind of slowly wander over and solve this palindrome clue.
Just ran ahead, found them, came back. You know, that was easy.
How are we doing, team?
Getting exercise.
Yes, we're doing good. We have the bonus points. This is amazing.
Oh, you got your dog? Oh, of course.
Yes, because we already took care of that. And we're just kind of covering up our options. Yeah?
Waiting for Kelly, he's slowing us down.
It was pretty simple. I just thought, oh, it's got to be one of those hand sanitizer things. Poleme, before getting on the airplane. And I ran up to the gate and didn't see it right away. And then I started reading the things on the, the signs on the gate about entry and all that kind of stuff. And didn't see anything there, and kind of looked around a bit, and then saw it and said, oh, there it was. And I knew as soon as I saw it, I knew that was it. Got it, ran back.
By the time we had to solve this coal car and this 7-2 number, we knew things were kind of tricky, and we knew that we just had to kind of keep going along the course. And what ended up happening is we just had to check every single garbage can and recycling bin to see if they had a picture of this coal train.
And at one point there was 2 other ladies that were like looking around there. We probably looked pretty silly, like ducking around these like garbage cans, you know, on the waterfront. But there was 2 other women, and they were looking for the same clue. And anyway, it wasn't until like way the far end of the causeway that we found it.
Eventually we did find it, and fortunate for us, you turn around from that garbage bin and there's our next task.
We were right at the Victoria sign, so it said Measure Victoria, and it was pretty obvious we're in the harbor, and the big word Victoria is right there, so measure it.
How long was it?
101 feet.
How'd you find that out?
Measured it.
Teamwork?
With the measuring tape.
Big long measuring tape, and measure like the length of Victoria, which was like written on the grass in flowers. And so it required teamwork because the measuring tape would only stretch so far. So then someone would hold it, the other person would run into the end, and then someone would mark it, and then the person would run again. And that was the next thing that we had to do.
Yeah, I think that was Doug holding down the other end, and I don't know what he was doing. He's like, the first one, he wanted to mark it exactly or something, and I was like, no, let go of the other end, hurry up, I'm moving on here. Here's where the next spot is, come down and start it from here. And he kind of reluctantly went with me on that, and then we went to the next one. It was done.
Team effort, of course, and,
yeah.
You know, to do it quickly, because we only had 100-foot sign and a 25 tape measure, I guess.
That's right.
So, yeah, so it's a team effort. We got it measured fast and moved on.
We get to the undersea gardens, we see some people running around with mops, and we're like, oh, well, there's our next activity. And we get there, and the people look at us and say, oh, you brought a good mop, you're going to be done in no time.
Because we had the best mop in the entire place. Thanks to me, of course.
He was convinced we had to fly with the mop. I was convinced we had to dance with the mop.
He was doing the magical thing with the broom. So Kelly was like being kind of silly and like riding around on this broom, and we just thought it was really cute. So we're like, damn, you should get this on film.
I didn't think that's what I had to do. I just wanted to do it.
Harry Potter.
Oh, is that what I was being? I just thought I was being a witch because we were flying past those other team, and I had a better broom, and I thought, okay, yeah, I'm gonna fly by these people on my broom. Oh, you're
The
showing.
undersea mop race was probably one of the highlights of the whole event. So the activity was to dip the mop in a big bucket of water, and then we had to run, let's say 30 feet, and fill our yogurt container with water.
We had such a fine mop as compared to the other people that have these like little squeegee ones and like ones that hardly held any water at all. And so, but anyway, we had like a traditional mop that held a lot of water.
And yeah, it just was like a lot of people had these little spongy mops that you go, and we had to fill up, go to one jar, a bucket of water, fill up a jar with the sponge. And of course, we didn't have the sponge. We had this big rag mop, and it just.
That's right. Well, I thought maybe someone had to be on the other end for it for some reason. I was kind of jumping the gun. I was kind of like, oh, what if they need me over there? So, but then they didn't. So I just came back.
Take a mop, dump it in a bucket of water, run, I don't know, 10 meters, and wring it out into a yogurt cup and fill the yogurt cup up.
Yeah.
Took us 2.1 trips. So it took us 3 trips.
How full was the container when you got there?
It was just about half full because Shelley did the first run, I did the second run, and we just couldn't, tried to wring it out, but just couldn't get it quite full.
I was really actually surprised that Doug didn't fill it up with that second one. It was like half an inch from the top or something. Anyhow, we could have been the best. Somebody else just rang out their mop better, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that was good.
We did it in 3 goes, and I didn't even have to like take part in the mop race. I was just like the cheerleader for the team for the moment. You know, moral support.
After the mop race, we were given a clue to find a name on the zigzag walkway. So we basically just had to go up this ramp and look for a name.
The zigzag was fairly obvious because of the sidewalk we just gone down to get to the mop clue.
I just talked earlier about the one with Doug and measuring the Victorian, him being so meticulous about it. Now here's a place where that pays off because it said this clue is on the zigzag walkway, so I go running up the zigzag walkway looking for this clue. Doug comes up behind me and goes, "Here it is!" Right in the middle of this zigzag, there's a big island, and the date of something was on there. So I ran right by it, he got it.
Total fluke. Yeah, nice. Like I said, that was easy. It's one of those cases where the guy, break the trend, the guy actually reads the instructions and it worked.
Our journey led us to what I know is the Port Angeles Ferry. It was the Black Ball Coho Ferry or something or other. And our clue is basically Cooper. Oh, and time. Cooper time. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Black Ball Cooper time. Which essentially was just a clock in front of the ferry terminal with the next clue.
I have no idea what that was about. I just know at that time Michelle was looking for animal pictures, and so I ran in because I thought how many animal pictures can they have in the Black Ball Ferry? And she was much smarter than that. She was looking through brochures to find animal pictures. So she grabbed a bunch of brochures, and I went, "Oh, great idea!" And then I started looking at the brochures, and then she says, "Let's go. We're wasting time here." So I went in to make her time shorter, and she makes my time shorter because I just kept hang up.
Oh, was I rushing you, Kelly? I think you were rushing me.
But anyhow, it was a great idea because there were a lot of animal pictures in those brochures.
So we mutually rushed each other at different points, just to keep things fair.
I like that.
Yeah.